Look at the sheer scale of this skeleton compared to the people standing beneath it. For millions of years, the ultimate survival strategy on Earth was simple: be the biggest, heaviest, and strongest creature in the room. To understand why that strategy eventually failed, we have to rewind 4.6 billion years. The Earth started as a toxic, boiling rock wrapped in volcanic ash. The atmosphere was completely unbreathable. It took millions of years for microscopic organisms in the oceans to start converting those toxic gases into oxygen. As the air cleared, vast forests took root, creating an environment rich enough to support massive biological structures. For the first few billion years of life, the planet acted as a brutal testing ground, constantly optimizing for raw physical power. That biological arms race peaked with dinosaurs like the Titanosaurus. Weighing in at over 40 tons and eating directly from the tops of the highest trees, they dominated every ecosystem from the dense jungles to the mountains. This visualization traces the path of an asteroid roughly 15 kilometers wide. When it struck the Earth's crust at 70,000 kilometers an hour, it triggered a sudden, catastrophic shift in the global climate. Ash blocked the sun, plunging the world into a freezing darkness that lasted for months. The plants died, followed quickly by the herbivores. The massive bodies that made these giants invincible suddenly became inescapable traps, requiring far more calories than the dying planet could provide. Perfect adaptation to a specific environment guarantees failure when the rules of that environment change overnight. With the massive predators eliminated, the small, rat-like mammals that had spent millions of years hiding in underground burrows finally emerged onto an empty stage. As the planet stabilized, shifting tectonic plates in East Africa pushed mountains higher and disrupted weather patterns. The dense protective jungles thinned out, forcing early primates down from the trees and into wide-open grasslands. To spot predators over the tall grass, they stood on two legs. Walking upright freed their hands to manipulate objects, and as we look at the cranial capacity of this hominid fossil, we see a massive expansion in the space dedicated to the brain. Survival no longer relied on sharp claws or heavy armor. It relied on observation and planning. The growing brain led to complex language. Early humans moved past simply shouting warnings about a physical threat in the bushes. They developed the vocabulary to discuss things that did not physically exist. They invented shared beliefs, spirits in the fire, rules set by unseen ancestors, and foundational myths. If two strangers believed the same story, they could instantly trust each other without needing a personal relationship. If you look at this network model, an animal pack hits a biological limit of about 50 members before social cohesion breaks down. By routing trust through a shared idea rather than personal familiarity, human networks quickly scaled into the thousands. The ability to weave a narrative is the exact mechanism that allowed humanity to out-organize every other species on the planet. Homo sapiens carried these vast networks out of the African savannas and directly into the Ice Age, walking into environments where winter temperatures routinely fell to -20 degrees. Instead of waiting thousands of generations to biologically evolve thick fur, they used their intellect to skin animals for clothing and tamed fire to heat their caves. This genetic chart shows as they spread across Europe and Asia, they met older species like Neanderthals. Rather than wiping them out, we absorbed them. Today, 1 to 4% of DNA in many modern populations comes directly from ancient relatives. We survived by modifying the cold world to suit our needs and absorbing the biological traits of our competitors. Roughly 11,000 years ago, the planet's orbit shifted, the sun's rays intensified, the deep glaciers melted into fresh rivers, and the seasons became predictable. With a stable climate, humans stopped chasing wild herds. They mapped out fertile ground, planted seeds, and corralled animals. Farming produced a reliable surplus of calories, which generated something entirely new: free time. A fraction of the population could step away from food production to experiment with clay pottery, carve specialized tools, and melt copper out of raw rock. Staying in one place forced us to build permanent structures, setting up the exact conditions required to build a civilization. Settling in the Fertile Crescent between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, the people of Mesopotamia erected massive structures like the ziggurat. To mobilize that much labor, they formed strict hierarchies ruled by kings and priests. To manage the thousands of people living inside these cities, they invented writing. They carved strict legal codes into stone, enforcing a unified order across the population. Over in the Indus Valley, an entirely different model emerged. You can see the precise geometric grid of their cities here, including advanced underground plumbing. Yet archaeologists have found almost no weapons or grand palaces designed for singular rulers. Instead of centralizing power through force, they relied on standardization. These intricately carved seals served as a system of commerce, allowing them to verify goods and trade peacefully across thousands of miles. These early river cities represent the exact threshold where humanity stopped enduring nature and began actively engineering it. We began this timeline looking at 60-foot reptiles and small, vulnerable apes. The fossil record proves that immense physical scale is a fragile trait. When the climate fractures, the giants starve first. Planetary dominance does not belong to the largest or the strongest. It belongs entirely to the species that can adapt to disaster and invent the stories necessary to bind millions of minds together.